Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for stopping by. I'm Tyler. This is Jack.
Hi. Hey, man.
Yeah, we got Anderson Burrus. Honestly, we can just start at NC State.
Yeah.
Tell us about the NC State Wolf Tracks music group. Did you start that or?
Oh wow, yeah. No, no, I didn't start that. I think I helped kind of get it off the ground. That was just like a school organization at NC State, and I think we're pretty much trying to like find musicians at NC State to kind of help push their music career off of the ground. Yeah, it was like a fun project to do while in school, and yeah, that was like we did that for a couple of years, and I don't know whatever happened to it, but it was definitely fun.
So I'm kind of interested in your Cypher, your Cypher career, I guess.
Yeah.
Did that start at NC State? Were you starting doing kind of freestyle rapping when you were in high school? When did you kind of enter into being interested in that?
Yeah, so I started rapping in high school. I got kind of called out I was on the basketball team, and I got called out by some of the older guys, in the back of the bus. They were freestyling, and so I went back there and I kind of freestyle battled them, and I'd never done it before, but it was fun, and I feel like I was naturally good at it because I've always loved hip hop, and so yeah, I started doing that, and then I started to write songs and record myself, and then I went to college and I found the NC State Cypher, which is like a thing every Monday night. We meet up outside the Free Expression Tunnel around 10:30, and we just freestyle and we just rap. So it was a really good way for me to get plugged into the local hip hop scene, in the area. When I first joined it, it was I think 2 years into the Cypher being a thing. And we just, I think, celebrated our 12th anniversary. So I've been doing it with the guys for about 10 years now. So it's been a really fun thing to watch kind of grow. And it's just been it's been a really fun addition to NC State's kind of culture.
So you were known mostly for battle raps?
Yeah.
But you used to have content on SoundCloud and Bandcamp.
Yeah.
But I can't access those contents anymore, especially from Bandcamp, right?
No, the Bandcamp one we get on.
Which is the one the album
Spotify.
said How to Be Black. Yeah.
Oh, Spotify. Yeah, I probably stopped just paying to have that on Spotify. I definitely I used to do music a lot more, and I really enjoy it. I'll still rap over beats and stuff, but the actual songwriting and stuff, it was fun. But if I'm gonna kind of use creative energy and stuff to work on hip hop, I prefer to do it in battles more so, because I think I don't know. I'm on URL, which is it's like the biggest battle rap league in the world, and so I've kind of made it pretty far in battle rap, and I'm known primarily for battle rap. So that's the thing I like to do. And
why do you like to do battle rap? What makes that different than a performance where you have an audience that's staying in front of you? They're captivated. A captive audience waiting for you to speak, right? Versus someone who's waiting to par your sword, kind of right post, like a duel or a battle. Why do you crave that as opposed to a spectacle?
That's a really good question. I think that with battle rap, I'm a competitor. And I love the feeling of being able to. This sounds terrible, but I love the idea of a mutual agreement of I can hurt your feelings as much as I want to, and you can do the same. It's very similar to UFC, MMA, because it's so much of it is just I agree. You can punch me in the face, I can punch you in the face, and the crowd just kind of enjoy that. And so I'm able to do. I love comedy. I used to do some stand-up comedy, and I still do a lot of comedy sketches and skits and stuff. So I love to incorporate comedy into the battle rap, and so it kind of combines my favorite things. It's performing live. It's because also it's acting. It has so much acting involved in battle rap.
Theatrics are a big part of war as well.
Yeah,
you understand. So it's not like an uncommon thing for theatrics to be pulled I mean, even Alexander the Great, he massed his whole army beneath the guise of an eclipse. And when the enemy saw the eclipse, he had predicted the eclipse because, he knows about the stars, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't know about the stars.
Oh,
So
wow.
when the eclipse happened and he predicted it, he said, if you don't surrender, I'm going to slaughter all of you. And he was actually outnumbered in that battle and won.
Wow.
So the theatrics have played a great part in belief. And belief is a great defensive armor and also a beautiful sword.
Yeah.
So,
wow. That's
and then we go back to rap battles.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help but think about the Enter the 36 Chambers with the Wu-Tang Clan,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of compares performative rap
Mm-hmm.
with katas, or like practicing in a Shaolin temple
Mm-hmm.
for battle. And they were tuned swords.
Mm-hmm.
Swords tuned upon each other. Who do you tune your sword against? Who do you practice?
Oh wow, that's great. Wow, that's beautifully put. Yeah, so I'm lucky enough now to have like a lot of I'm well connected in the battle rap world, so I have a lot of guys that I used to watch like in high school that like I've idolized, and now I consider them like friends, and so I'll call different people in battle rap or close friends that are around here that are that if I'm preparing for an opponent. I'll have my stuff written, or I'll be in the process of writing it, and I'll call my friends and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Tell me the things you like, but more importantly, tell me what you don't like, because I want to know what's not going to hit. Because it's so, like I said, it's pretty much stand-up comedy, because you don't have music to rely on, and you only have your words. And the thing with stand-up comedy, they have the advantage of being able to go to open mics and test out their material in front of such a wide audience. But for battle rap, we get one shot at doing it. We can't do like a trial test run in front of 50 people every Wednesday night. We have one chance to do it. It's being filmed. You screw up, you screwed up. And
It's SNL.
yeah, exactly. It's pretty much SNL. Except it's like just one person. It's like one man SNL, and you have so it is brutal, man. And so you have to. But a lot of battlers, I feel like don't do that much like vetting of their material, and for me, I just don't want there to be any dry spots. I want everything to hit, and so it's definitely a process because you just don't. It's kind of like why I didn't really like doing the performing when I was doing like music and performing at shows, because I feel like with musical shows, not musical shows, like just showcases with like rap showcases where people are rapping over beats. Like technology's just isn't at the point yet with like microphones where you can understand what the person's saying, especially on a local level, and you just can't understand the words, so you just kind of sitting there just kind of vibing to the sound, and it's just I don't feel like there's a connection with the audience there. But with battle rap, everyone can understand what you're saying, and you kind of it's like your storytelling, and it's that kind of like it's that back and forth, and I think that's the cool thing about battle rap that I wish more people could appreciate, because I think it's something that it should have a much bigger audience than it does.
Well, I mean, it used to have a tremendous audience before the time of, the great media saturation,
Mm-hmm.
before internet. I mean, Eminem did his rounds, and some of it is caught on VHS, where he's fighting, what's that guy's name? Where he's battle rapping someone in Detroit. And he makes a line about Budweiser, where he sees Eminem's beer,
Mm-hmm.
and then he makes a line about every letter of Budweiser.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like it kills Eminem, but he loses that rap battle.
Yeah.
And that's really where I think his legend kind of started. But so you come from a pretty rich heritage that kind of feels like it's more or less antiquated at this point. How do you bring that into the present day? What about it can you feel might be relevant to today's age?
Oh, well,
What is the second coming?
Yeah, well, I think the misconception is that battle rap is kind of fallen off. I mean, it really hasn't. Like I was a production assistant last weekend at this event on URL called Summer Madness, and that was in Charlotte. And we had I think at least like 1.5 million people tune in live. So the audience is there. But it's not super mainstream. It's just kind of like if you know, you know. But it definitely it's a big audience, but it's still not, it hasn't broken through like obviously mainstream rap has. But I think what can kind of make it have like a resurgence is I think just in the times we're living in, people are afraid to kind of say things like not to sound Fox News, but like there is kind of like this idea of for better or for worse, people are afraid to offend other people. And that is a good thing in some regards. It's also kind of a bad thing in some regards, especially for art. And I think you see that in stand-up comedy. You see that in kind of a lot of different ways. With battle rap, though, it's really great because there's no you can kind of get away with anything. You can kind of say whatever you want, and it's understood because like your opponent knows what's up. You know what's up. It's kind of just like the last stand of free expression. It's kind of that and stand-up comedy are the only things you can really do. Except with battle rap is cool because the person you're making fun of is standing right here on stage with you, and they get to clap back at you and say things.
I mean, you say make fun of, some of it tends to be kind of violent stuff as well.
Totally.
Threats upon character, ad hominems.
Yeah.
Even blowing your muffin cap back blue, you know? You never know what is being presented.
Yeah.
How do you absorb that then? How is that useful for modern media, for people to come to grips with that level of violence just in your face like that sometimes?
Yeah. Okay, I love that question because a thing that's so fascinating to me is that I've been obsessed with battle rap my entire life pretty much, or for as long as it's been around, and there has been virtually no violence with battle rap. But when it comes to battle rappers that have died, no one in battle rap has died at a battle rap event because they said something and someone shot them or stabbed them or anything. Nothing like that has ever happened as far as I know. But if you look at like the mainstream rappers are getting shot and killed every single day. But the great thing about battle rap is that, because I mean now I know all the biggest battlers in the world, like I know them, and they're all for the most part the nicest people you'll meet. But you see them up on stage battling each other, and you would think they're going to literally murder each other in 2 seconds. But they don't. They're really cool. They're really good friends. Like the last battle I just did, dude, the last battle I just did, the guy, what I did was, because I like to do promo videos for my battles and really get in my opponent's head. And so his name was Dot, and it stood for Determination Over Trust was his name. So I made a fake Nike ad, and I put his face on it. I went in downtown Raleigh and did this whole promo video where I asked people like what determination over trust means. It made it this whole entire campaign to make fun of this dude. And when the battle came around, out the gate, he just shoves me like across the room like as soon as the battle starts. And so like, you know, there's like that physical altercation. And I remember when the battle was happening, I was looking into his eyes and I'm like, this man I've never seen so much hatred in someone's eyes before. And it made me hate him too. And I hated this guy. I hated him. And so I was just, we were talking a lot of, you know, crap back and forth in between, you know, crowd reaction and stuff. We hated each other genuinely. After the battle, you get it all out of your system. And so we're just chilling in the hotel lobby. We're really good friends now. We exchange numbers, we text and stuff. Like, we're friends. And that's a really cool thing because like we've gotten everything out of our systems about each other. And we know like we put on a really good battle. And so we're kind of excited to see it drop. And so I think it's just kind of it's I get from an outside perspective. Yeah, it's purging.
An exorcism. Yeah. This brings me to like this book of poetry by Fred Moten called The Field Trio, right? Mm-hmm. And in a line in it, he says, "Take a bite and spit out all the bitterness."
Oh, I like that.
That's what we do with poison, right? We take a bite, spit out all the bitterness, and in that instance, we do something painful in a moment to avoid pain for 100 years. Repression is not good, right? Obviously. And the expression of violence can serve as a type of exorcism of a demon.
Yeah.
What does that do afterwards?
Oh. Wow.
What do you guys like after that?
Oh, yeah.
It was just like empty, just like I lost all my energy, like I'm a rubber man, you're a rubber man, like what's going on?
No. Because the great thing is like with the crowds and stuff, there is no rush. Like riding a haymaker, something you know is gonna kill in the building, performing it, being so excited to say it, performing it, it gets a massive crowd reaction. It makes your opponent feel bad. You get like the rush you get when you drop one of those in like a big crowded room. It's insane. So after a battle, you know, you're tired from all the preparing and the stressing
the
over it.
Adrenaline's coming down. You're feeling kind of sore in your lower back, and you don't really know why.
Kind of, yeah. You definitely feel tired, but also as long as the battle goes well. If the battle doesn't go well, it's like the worst feeling ever because you spent all that time preparing.
Then you should just die.
Yeah, you feel like you want to die.
You want to just die.
Yeah,
I can imagine. That.
Yeah,
I can imagine just like being defeated and like being brutalized in front of a bunch of people.
Yeah,
saying someone's gonna sew your asshole closed and just keep feeding you and feeding you and feeding you.
Wow.
And
yeah.
Everyone's just like cheering.
Wu-Tang.
Like that'd be tough.
Yeah.
That'd be tough to hear.
Yeah.
It's tough to hear because that's you.
Yeah. Exactly.
What is that you?
What do you mean? Is that me?
I want to talk a little bit about persona and
Mm-hmm.
what kind of role that plays in rap battles.
Yeah, well, we have persona. That's what distinguishes because there's so many battle rappers, but very few of them make it to a high level. And the thing that separates them is always going to be the character, and it's the personality. I don't watch wrestling. I don't know anything about wrestling, but I would imagine, as far as wrestlers go, it's kind of the same thing. I can imagine the biggest wrestlers are the ones with iconic personalities, or you can identify characteristics.
You get the heel, and then you get the iconic good guy. The heel is the guy that you love to hate. Stone Cold Steve Austin played the heel for a little bit. The Rock played the heel for a little bit. And there's the really good guy who's just working really hard, and you want to see him succeed. Kurt Angle did that for a little bit. It's really comes down to a study of the Commedia dell'arte, who maintains what archetypically, you know. And you can tell sometimes by their clothing who they're going to be, right?
Yeah.
What we admire in society, ostentatious natures are not really admired. If we want someone who's humble, humility is usually that's why The Rock appears in a bunch of jungles, right? He's just walking around in a jungle. He's not wearing a Rolex.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to be loved now. He's gotten tired of being the heel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you take turns playing the good guy and the bad guy. The bad guy, then the good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how often does that happen in battle rap?
I don't know. I think with battle rap, everyone's pretty much the bad guy with the stuff that we're saying. You know, it's hard to be the good guy, but I think you can be likable. That's the thing that I think is always kind of the key, at least for me. Because I mean, with my character that I play, I try to make it as little of a character as I can. That's where all the skits and all the promo videos that I do, because I mean I'm a videographer, it's my job, so I have all the equipment to make funny skits and stuff and promo stuff outside of battles to kind of show the audience my personality, and that's kind of what I try to do. And so when I go into the ring and when I'm rapping, yeah, I'm not I will rap about shooting you and stabbing you and killing you. It's all kind of tongue in cheek though. I would never try to I would never get mad if someone's do you really everyone knows what's up with battle rap. So I never try to play the authentic actual gangster person. I much prefer, but also that's the fun thing because so much of it is wordplay. It's not just literally going up there and just saying I'll shoot you and I'll stab you. It's literally it's.
Give us a punchline. Give us something.
Okay, so one line I said. That whenever people say it, I was so mad that it did. But I said, your whole team is ducking shots from these semis and autos as bullets go by them like Demi Lovato. Because Demi Lovato uses they, them pronouns, so she goes by them, so bullets go by them like Demi Lovato.
Well, you have to consider, as a rhetorician, you have to consider your audience. Are they really going to know what Demi Lovato goes by?
Yeah, no, that's what hit me. But that's kind of the point where you have to make it accessible. And you have to kind of know the audience.
You got to dumb it down and bring it back to Caitlyn Jenner because that's really the underlining thing that people would understand is the first.
Yeah.
People remember the first, but then the primacy is the first.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they just don't remember. And this is all of the political conversations of identity from that point on after Caitlyn Jenner have been generally derivative. So to expect the general populace to remember that might be asking a little too much.
Yeah, definitely. I think you definitely, that's kind of the key with writing. It's good writing is finding stuff that is complex, but it is digestible enough that the average person gets it. So when I'm preparing, or
be prepared for them not to get it. Say, fuck you if you don't get it.
You'll get it on
I'm Rick,
camera.
bitch.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why it's important when you're preparing to not only rehearse your stuff for battle rappers or battle rap fans. It is also important. I will literally call up my mom and rap my stuff for her because I want someone who has no idea who battle rappers are, who rappers are, anything to be able to still understand and grasp what I'm saying. Because I look at everything through the lens of how can I make a clip blow up on social media? How can I take something and post it on like Instagram Reels or TikTok or something and have that blow up, because that's how you go from being seen by like 10 or 15,000 people watching the battle to a couple million people watching it, and that to me is how you kind of grow a fan base. That's how I've been doing it. And so I'll think about like, okay, if this line, you have to know some stuff about battle rap. This isn't going to do super well, but then I'll work on lines that are much more accessible to the public. Like so that was a bad example. So like a good example would be where I said for gun bars go you're gonna see that y'all gonna see their brains detached the second that I raise the gap, because I'm only taking headshots like fat girls on dating apps. Like it's something. Yeah, you see, like everybody gets it. Everyone kind of
don't want
gets
to show
it.
their shoulders down.
Exactly.
It's like ham hocks.
Exactly.
It's like ham hocks. No offense, fat girls.
Yeah. So it's
We're
something
gonna
that
have
it's
to edit
like.
that out, aren't
But like that works because it's like it's shocking. It's kind of offensive. You can't say that outside of battle rap or stand-up comedy. But also you're talking about shooting someone in the head. So like it's kind of all those things that everyone gets and everyone likes and everyone enjoys. Like so it's yeah, I think that's kind of the thing that I go for as far as like the writing material and stuff. But it's important to still just be yourself and not try to be someone that you're not, because that's off stage. When people meet you off stage, I've seen it happen where people have this really tough character on stage where they're like super hardcore gangster, but off stage they're not really like that, so they feel uncomfortable off stage because people meet them and go, he wasn't really like he is on stage. But for me, I'm pretty awkward on stage, like not awkward, but like kind of just outsider, and off stage I don't feel a pressure to like if I'm uncomfortable around someone or like I'm kind of weird. No one's gonna be like, man, he's so much cooler. Like I just try to be the same person on and off stage.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, authenticity plays a big part of it. Genuine nature is definitely something that you can't really attack.
Yeah.
Just because attacking it is kind of like, why? What's the point? It's genuine nature. It's just someone being themselves. Like if you're gonna attack that, if you're gonna attack someone being their genuine selves, then what does that say about you?
Yeah.
Being your genuine self, like, why does that offend you?
Yeah. Well, that's why I don't go with like a rap name. I think that's one of the things that it's so funny to me, like, because like when I started off rapping.
Well, there are a couple rap names floating around for you. Wolfpack rapper.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Battle rapper.
Yeah. That's more of a description, but yeah.
Well,
it's
a nomer.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
a
title, like that you've earned. Like
yeah.
A title that you've earned over time.
But yeah, I think that's what I like. I like just using my real name because there's nothing you can really. It's just kind of, I don't know. I like it. I like it, kind of the authenticity of like being like, yeah, it's just my name, just me rapping. It's not a different person on stage. It's just the same, yeah.
When you're doing a big battle rap you're preparing for, what level of research are you doing into your opponent? Do you ever like bring up some wild stuff, like not wild, but yeah.
Oh yeah. So earlier this year I battled, and I battled this dude who's been battling for like since battle rap began pretty much, and he is very well respected in like the battle rap community. It was a big look for me, but I started just digging into every single song, everything he's ever put out, and he's put out so many things. But it was actually a friend that pointed it out that actually found it because he used to actually listen to this guy as like a musician. But I discovered that he made a song where he talks about the end. It's like a love song where he's hooking up with this girl, they fall in love, they have a lot of sex, then at the end, he takes her to a family function, and at the end it turns out, oh, we're actually cousins, and didn't know it. And no one, I talked to all his close friends, no one knew about that. So I just did so much research on it and made that an entire angle about like, you had sex with your cousin, like the whole, like, so it just made that entire thing where I want to find the thing, because all battle rap is, like my goal every time is to make the audience look at my opponent differently than they did before. Because if you can do that, you have control over the perception of them, and that's wild. If you can make them leave going, I feel kind of stupid for liking that guy's opponent, that's what you try to do. So
that's the Titus Andronicus moment, right, where you figure out
I have no idea.
You're eating your kids, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Titus Andronicus, William Shakespeare, he made people eat his kids. For people who don't know William Shakespeare, it's the Scott Tenorman episode where Scott Tenorman is eating his
really?
Fucking parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's eating his parents because Cartman made him eat his parents. Yeah, the Scott Tenorman episode is based off of Titus Andronicus of William Shakespeare.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're talking about the same thing, making him eat his kids. And making the audience watch as he eats his kids, but this time it's fucking his cousin.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's a humiliation on like a a social level, dehumanization level. There's levels to that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But again, you have to find the balance, because I felt kind of weird about it at first, because I'm like, this is going to really embarrass him. But the song is available on Spotify.
Right.
Like, it wasn't something that I uncovered that, like, he's trying to keep hidden. If that was the case, I would have to think a lot harder about if I want to put that out. But all I was doing was just promoting a song that he's paying to keep on Spotify. Just no one listens
like
to it.
Scott Tenorman didn't know, and neither did Titus Andronic.
Yeah.
And neither did your opponent, right?
Yeah.
They didn't know. It's the ignorance is what allows this behavior, but the behavior is not excused because of it. That's the horror.
Mm-hmm.
It's horror.
Yeah.
You're horror rapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're giving horror. This dude's life has horrified you.
Yes.
What was the response in that case? How like it was he surprised that shit?
Yeah,
like,
people were disappointed with him. Yeah, it wasn't a very good battle. It was probably like the worst battle I've had. It was a bad crowd. It was during the COVID era, so it wasn't much of a crowd. But that was a thing where I was like, people were like, dude, like the FBI couldn't have gotten that information out of me. Like, why'd you put that in a song? Like, if that happens to you.
But also, like, the FBI is not going to be interested in incest.
Also, the FBI could have listened to Spotify.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Not like.
Yeah, they're not going to be interested in someone accidentally having sex with their cousin.
Yeah. Well, they're just like if that happened to me, the last thing I would do is make a song about it. It's like the most embarrassing thing that could happen to you. Why would you make a song about it happening to you? It just comes off like it's like that's just we all have things that have happened to us where we're like, I hope no one ever finds out about that. Yeah, yeah. Me neither.
I got robbed at gunpoint.
Really?
I definitely cried afterwards, and I definitely wouldn't want anyone to be there with me in that moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never had sex with my cousin.
Yeah, it's a rough one, man.
That's a big one. That's a big leap to say that we've all had a moment like that.
Well, a moment that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, you know. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like
for sure. But that's beyond embarrassing. That is horror.
Yeah.
That is horror.
That's what I'm saying. So, like,
is
it's
literally
wild. Do you want to make a song about that?
Why would he make a song about
That's the whole point. That was the big response. Like, why would he make a
Why
song?
would he make a song about that?
Yeah.
And put it out there. Not
I mean,
only
okay.
write it,
I mean, it's wild. It's a wild in song. It's wild. It's a wild topic. But why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who's that for?
Oh, man.
People in Alabama.
Alabama, probably. Yeah, exactly.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, probably.
Shout out to
yeah.
West Virginia.
Shout out. But I guess like during, well, I guess COVID's kind of still a thing, but like when things were really really slow during COVID, like how was battle rap impacted? I mean, obviously you couldn't have could you not have in-person events for a while? Like
Yeah, it's a really good question. Yeah, so we did these things called kind of like probably volumes, or they're pretty much it's just battle events with virtually no crowd. So everyone will get COVID tested, but it's only be like 30 people. But I mean, with live streaming and everything, you can still stream it to a lot of people. And so battle rap did fine, but you definitely do miss like the big crowds. But yeah, it took a whole different type of battle rapper, because a lot of battlers depend on the crowd and crowd reaction. But if you don't have a crowd reaction, you're really forced to like listen to like what they're saying. Like you focus on the words a lot more, because you don't have the crowd to kind of like, it's almost like putting in an audience laugh track in a sitcom, where like they kind of tell you when to laugh, so it kind of makes it seem funnier. But if you don't have like that big crowd reaction, you have to kind of determine for yourself what the haymaker is, like what the major punchline moment is for you. And that's a tougher thing to do if you're an audience member, like versus, relying on the crowd reaction.
do you think like now sometimes you still like possibly write to like in a way that sometimes things land better online than they would in person, and that's like for like in a larger audience sense,
Mm-hmm.
if you were writing like, because do you think, or in that moment were you still writing for the like to get I don't know, not that the reaction in the room would be different than what it is from the audience, but it could be.
Yeah, oh no, totally. If you're in front of a big crowd, you have to write way more. You have to just write. You have to give it to them on a platter a lot more, because you have to think if there's going to be a couple hundred people there, then they're going to be listening. Like it's just a different type of environment when we're in a crowd of like hundreds of people and you're trying to listen to words. It's just going to be harder to hear the exact it's just, so you have to just do more. It's a much more of a performance. You have to do a lot more. Just like you have to do more of the fat girls and dating apps type of bars versus the certain B-list celebrities pronouns gun
people
bars.
People on TikTok will probably understand the Demi Lovato.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. That's and that's a good point. So you have to find out what your target audience is.
Right. And as far as like when you're actually on stage, what about your physicality? Like your actual hand gestures and other people's hand gestures. How does that play into like the COVID? The COVID crowd, because you have to cue with your body.
Totally.
When things occur.
Yeah, it is an absolute performance. That's the thing that people don't get, and so you have to. It's not enough to just write it and memorize it. You have to figure out, okay, what are the movements you're going to be be doing?
Yeah, hand gestures.
The hand gestures, exactly.
Semi-auto.
Yes, exactly.
Single, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's a pistol, so I would hold it like this. But a lot of people I see holding it like this. I would hold the stock.
Yeah.
I would hold the butt and just to make sure it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm small.
Yeah.
I'm 5'8".
Yeah, exactly.
So
See, that's the other interesting thing with like physicality and battle rap, because like I'm like 6'4", 6'3", I don't know, 6'3", 6'4". I'm like
you tower over some of these people.
a bigger dude. So like that is such an advantage in battle rap because it's really hard to come off intimidating somebody if you're looking up at them, and so.
Oh, I just look right into the center of them like a boxer would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, that's kind of the dynamic of battle rap. It is a performance. You have to make the audience think you guys hate each other and that you might actually fight 'cause it's exciting for them. But then of course, as like a battler myself, I always kind of go, shoot. Like what I always try to do is I try to figure out. I see my opponent at the venue or whatever. And what I try to do is go, okay, who came here with you? Because it's not going to be the battler that's going to probably swing at you, but it might be his homie that he brought that doesn't know exactly what this whole thing is. They're just kind of their support. And then, you're making fun of, like, his gang or something that's, like, you shouldn't make fun of outside of battle rap. And he doesn't really know what's up, and he sees his friend getting embarrassed, and so he steps in and, like, swings on. Like, that's a thing that could happen. And so I want to make sure that I meet everyone that my opponent came with, and be like, hey, I'm just kidding. Like, everything I'm saying, I'll apologize to you in an instant if it offends you. I am very sorry if I don't. I'm just here to this is an art piece, and I think if you're nice to people, no one's gonna want to like really beat you up because you don't give them any reason to. But if you are like coming off like intimidating and stuff off stage, then it becomes riskier. But I just try to be nice to everyone off stage, but on stage be as mean as I can possibly be.
How often is it that you run into the person that says, hey, no, this is actually my life on the line here, and no, this is all real to me, and this is beef. This is real beef.
Well, there's definitely a lot of battlers are rapping about their real lives to an extent. I mean, probably everything's a little bit a little bit exaggerated, but there are absolutely battlers that are really still in the streets and really about that life. But they're smart enough to know, like, if you risk your freedom to shoot Anderson Burrus, it's a stupid move. I'm not worth the bullet and the time in prison. Like it's just not like it'd be stupid to do anything to me because again, you get no street. There's no strikes you earn from being like
you don't have like $1 million stashed away somewhere. Do you?
I'm not like the drug cartel. I'm not like any. There's no
connections there.
Nope. It's just gonna be like, oh, you killed the white kid. Like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that, man? He's the easiest target. Like,
He said that thing.
Yeah.
He said the.
Yeah.
You guys don't remember? No.
He said Well, that's the funny thing is like this was the kind of the funny thing about battle rap, man, is that like everyone's so tough and everyone's so like gangster and stuff, and so if you get mad over like words, it's like words you're. Like mean words, he said something mean to you, and you got upset about it. Like that's kind of the things. Like even when I'm battling, and I see my opponent get mad. It's a good move to do is be like, look at him, look at how mad he is right now, and then they have to be like, no, I'm not mad. I'm not mad now. Like it's all good. It's all I got. It's all. But if you look bothered, oh, he got under your skin. Like it's kind of that thing. And so everyone tries to come off like they're not mad or not upset. But again, when you're at the level of like URL. Everyone knows. No, this is not anyone's first battle. Everyone's been doing this for years. Everyone's professional. Everyone's getting paid. So if you do anything, you're not gonna get paid. Yeah, you're not gonna get paid.
You're professional, and you're gonna get blacklisted. I see how it is. Because then no one's gonna want to work with you.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be easy to work with to a degree. You can't be just an absolute diva. You have to be like a once in a generation talent to
be an absolute diva.
Yeah.
Which is what Eminem was. He was a precious little deviant at the end.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think that Eminem is a good example of someone who, a lot of battlers, or a lot of mainstream rappers start off kind of in the battle rap space and then transition to
Yeah.
to music.
Well, that has changed a little bit with cloud rap. With
Oh, SoundCloud and stuff?
yeah, SoundCloud, Twitter, and stuff. Lil Uzi Vert never had to do a battle rap.
Yeah. Well, I think now rap is so less lyric based as far as like the mainstream, like what people are coming up
It's
looking
kind of
for.
aesthetic based, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, aesthetic based. Although, like, what's interesting is that battle rap really has impacted, especially like Eminem will openly admit, like, battle rap changes the way that he writes. Like, without battle rap is, the layering is so insane, and you can listen to rappers and be like, oh, they listen to battle rap because the way that they structure things, there's a structure to it, how you write for a battle versus how you write for a song, and a lot of rappers, especially like later in their careers, after they kind of do the pop, like the music stuff, like kind of the melodies and things, they kind of tend to go more lyrical towards the latter part of their careers. Like J. Cole is kind of like that to a degree. Like his latest album is a lot less melodies and a lot more. I could put an M right on your head, you Luigi's brother now. That's like a battle rap bar. That's like a you could say that in the battle
it's
and they get it's a punchline. And so many. I'm seeing a lot of artists that are battle rap does have an impact on.
Well, I mean, it's the difference of having a target versus not having a target, and what the target audience is.
Mm-hmm.
If what you're pointing towards is something you want to kill, then you point a gun at it. You put a reticle on it. You put a bullseye on it. If your target is something that you want to uplift and create a community out of, that is not something you aim to kill. That's something you aim to glorify. So the difference is destruction and creation, and they're one and the same hand. It's all about recognizing your target audience and what you want to do with your target audience.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not like they're mutually exclusive. You can uplift and destroy. You can uplift and completely close out one group of people from the perception of themselves of doing one thing. Why don't black people want to swim? Why is the Little Mermaid being black a problem?
I can't answer those questions, but
None of us can because we're not black. And the perception is there. The perception block is there. Why is that not a thing? Exactly. So we control these perceptions.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's, I mean, that's definitely an interesting dynamic kind of being, a white guy in battle rap, because that is for as much like, it's like you can kind of say anything you want. When you're a white guy, especially URL is like a very predominantly black, demographic of battlers and, obviously fan base as well. So you have to be mindful of being a white guy in this space, but it's so hard because, like, you're there to be disrespectful. So it's like I've run into
sacrilegious, not disrespectful.
Yeah.
You're in their church.
Yeah, but and that's where you have to kind of find that line, because like I'll be sparring with different people and I'll be kind of giving them ideas of like things to say. And in my mind, I just go, well, this is disrespectful. This is like, you obviously there's a line you have to walk where you can't racially put down someone on based on their race if you're a white guy. If you're not white and you're battling a white guy, go ahead, it's open season, it's totally fine. But you can't do it back, really, which is like understandable, totally get it. But you have to watch what is like disrespectful in a general sense versus what's disrespectful on like based on like and it's, I don't know, it's tough, and that's a thing you gotta definitely talk to multiple people about, get different people's perspectives. But at the end of the day, you have to know, the things I say, it's going to offend people no matter what. And it's finding out, like, is this, like, worth offending a certain amount of people? And most of the time it is, because I'm a big believer in, like, art and just kind of, but it also is, like, just it's going to offend people or it's going to hurt people. And I think those are two different things a lot of the times.
I mean, you can hurt and enlighten people. Kanye West, white man gets paid off of all of that line. Crack dealer buys Jordans, crackhead buys crack. The white man gets paid off of all of that.
Yeah.
Is an enlightening line that hurts a group of people that listen to his music.
Do you think situating yourself in the room is important? I mean, I've heard you often refer to yourself, like you're a white dude. Kind of bring that up sometimes, obviously. Not that people can't see, but also you also did say I forget two things you can't say about black people. N-word was one. I forgot the second one. But just like you think like situating yourself in the room in terms of like battle rapping helps kind of like mitigate, I guess, or like what the purpose, like if that serves a good purpose and like yeah.
Wait, did I say that? You can't say the N-word and you can't...
There's one other thing.
Wait, when did I say that?
I maybe I might be misquoting, but I thought there was like you said maybe there's two things you can't say.
Can't say the N-word. That's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah.
And you can't...
I could have been. I was just diving in. It could have been a while ago. I forget exactly what it was. I could have been misquoting, but I mean, I think like just sometimes I see like situate yourself in the room, and like I think that probably people know you're not going to be crossing a line. Pretty clear. Like you've been in this for a long time. People know.
Well, the problem is, man, is that the line moves a lot, often, and so it's like the things that are not a big deal, like 5 years ago. Today, it's kind of interesting. Like my third battle ever was against a guy from an HBCU, and so I was at NC State at the time. So it was pitched to me. The battle was pitched to me like, "Hey, you go to NC State. This guy goes to an HBCU. You should write like one round like dissing this HBCU. He'll write a round dissing NC State." And I was like, "That sounds fine." Which like today, this is like in 2016. So like. Then it was kind of like, okay, it's kind of like fun. No one's going to see it. Nowadays, I'd go, okay, I don't know if I really want to like just diss an HBC. But so I remember when I was writing for it, though, I was trying to do this really tactfully where I go, you can't take any line that I'm saying and make this, I'm saying anything negative about an HBCU. But I can make it funny and kind of like make people laugh about it and still come off kind of shocking, but at the end of the day, there's nothing overtly negative I'm saying. So like one of the opening lines of my round against them, which went pretty viral on like TikTok and other things, was y'all know what rhymes with Black University? It was lacking diversity. And so like the kind of like that idea of like it's all and in the room everyone laughs. It's like a funny thing. I didn't think twice about it. But now in 2022, like, because it kind of like went viral on TikTok and some other places, and I'm seeing so many people see this now in 2022, and still the vast majority of the reaction, like, this is hilarious, but there is like that thing when this is like not acceptable, and so it's funny to me, kind of like, it's kind of scary, we're going like the things that are acceptable then are just not acceptable now, and people don't have that type of like, that understanding of like, well, this was like a different time. It's only like 5 or 6 years ago.
I feel like in that instance, what would really be wrong is where people's own minds go.
Yeah.
Like then they're I don't know.
I mean, art is often a reflection of the self, right? Often what people are offended by what they see is a reflection of their own barbaric nature.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we hate violence in video games? Well, you have the freedom to do these things in video games. You can shoot somebody, but that's you shooting somebody. That's you, without consequence, choosing to shoot somebody. I'll make that decision all day, but can you live with it?
Mm.
Some people can't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
because they buy into the myth of civilization.
Yeah.
It's good to live here where no one kills each other.
Yeah.
I'd kill you in an instant if I could get something out of it.
Yeah. Wow. I was just so yeah. I'm just trying to make jokes and stuff, but I it's not that intense for me. But yeah, I think I don't know. I just think like when it comes to like those types of things, you definitely have to walk a line. You have to be respectful. But at the end of the day, all I can do is just try my best to use my best judgment and get other people's insight. But also it's just I think if you're also just a nice person to people outside of battle rap, then it's kind of like. People can kind of vouch and go, no, he's just a nice person.
No,
like,
it's cool. It's cool, dude. He gives to the church.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you consume?
It's just rap, man. It's very basic.
What's your favorite Arab rap?
Arab rap?
Era.
Oh, sorry, Arab rap.
Arab
I was
rap.
like, oh, okay.
Arab rap.
Yeah, you're about to get in a lot of trouble with the Middle East. Yeah, the turban's pretty cool. I don't know.
Sikhism.
Yeah, I really like the current era right now. I like not the mumble rap. I'm talking like the Griselda, Benny. There's like this. There's
Benny the Butcher?
Yeah, Benny the Butcher type of thing. Because those guys, they're big battle rap fans. But I love rap that uses the same rhyme scheme throughout like the whole verse. So like the Griselda guys are so good at it. And I don't know. I think that there's a lot of lyrical rap going on right now. It just doesn't get the mainstream push. But I mean, it's everywhere. And battle rap has a major impact on it. So I love listening to things that could work in a rap battle, but instead they go on a beat. And like I was just listening to Stick, that song by all the Dreamville guys, and Cole's line at the end of his verse where he's like, I still like the whole verse is like the same rhyme scheme, and he's like, but I still treat a ride through the hood like a hike through the woods. Got a stick that I take with me, which is like. So the internal rhyme scheme of that's so amazing, and the whole I'm such a nerd for like the writing and stuff, and I love the delivery and the flow. That's the stuff I love because I mean, as someone who does it, I love seeing something done at such a high level. Because it's frustrating listening to mumble rap. That sounds an old head, but it's frustrating for me to listen to mumble rap and they're not saying anything because I'm like, I could write what they're doing. Yeah, there's a skill to it, but I also know mumble rappers that can mumble rap but also be saying something.
Oh yeah,
like,
for
you
sure.
can do that, and so I like that. I like
mean, Eminem did that and killed people using mumble rap and kamikaze.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude, and that album was so freaking amazing to me. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like those are the things I like. I like stuff that just is impressive to me on a skill level.
How do you feel about biblical verses? Like in John P's Johnny's Caddy?
Yeah,
Caddy's
John.
Caddy,
Yeah.
With J. Cole.
Yeah.
And Benny the Butcher. J. Cole's opening lines: "On the night I was born, the rain was pouring, mom was crying, power outage, sparks was flying." Like, and then in like the Cypher 2.0 with Slim Shady. In order to get rid of me, you're gonna need at least a squeegee. Please be warned. Don't ask what the squeegee's for.
Yeah.
You need
A priest at least 3 swords. Yeah.
A priest at least 3 swords.
Yeah.
Unless you want the demon to be released with these 6 horns.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that. Can Casey Anthony fit in a fucking shoebox with a shoe horn?
Yeah.
You know, shit like that.
Yeah.
These biblical verses that harken back to an older time when poetry and rap made to exist to crowds was actually a form of prophecy.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
No, it's really cool. I mean, kind of the original rap battle. I learned about this like a couple years ago. I found it fascinating. It used to be called Flight, and what it would be like these philosophers that would be exchanging these ideas through poetry, but kind of like tearing down. I'm sure I'm butchering this, but like that are kind of like tearing down the other philosophers' ideas, like back and forth using poetry, kind of. And it was kind of like a rap battle where you're writing your stuff and your ideas. And I love that idea that it's the same kind of format because it is. It's not as like heavy or deep, but it is like it has that same spirit, and I really like that. I like that it takes a lot of thought because when people think of rap, they inevitably think like. Not inevitably, but like they often think like, oh, it's kind of like just like stupid, kind of like everyone just rapping about which, you know, my gold chain, my watch, my girl, like, but you can make. I mean, rap is it's the only genre to me really that is like it can be like that. It can just be very stupid, meaning nothing. It can also be the deepest like. Holy crap! That verse just changed the way I look at everything, type of thing. Like, and I don't know any other genre that has the freedom and power to be purely just sonically. It sounds kind of cool, versus like, whoa, that just changed the way I look at like Russian diplomacy or something. I don't know, like something like that. And I think that's the cool thing about rap, and battle rap's kind of a part of that.
Led Zeppelin definitely did that for me.
Oh yeah, I could see
They do
that.
the high and lows too.
Yeah,
And it's great art that does that.
yeah,
That makes you consider these small things as well as the large things,
Mhm.
and a type of like eternally recursive and fractal zooming out, kind of like the ending of Men in Black, right?
yeah. It's a good point.
I never saw the third one.
No, the first Men in Black.
Oh, the
He
first
opens a locker. Agent Smith
Mhm.
opens a locker. It opens out into an airport, a large airport with huge aliens are walking around, and the entire universe turns out is just a locker in this airport, and it zooms out from that airport, and it's got a city. Then beyond that city, it's in a marble, and that marble is a series of marbles in a bag that an alien is holding in his hand.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
It's sophism, right? It's sophism.
Yeah.
The idea that we maybe.
when I see it with like the rap that there's like well, I think the comparison with like poetry and philosophy makes sense in the sense like there's like a dialectic going on where there's arguments and sometimes arguments within those arguments, and there's also rhyme schemes going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the rhyme schemes are just there as a deterrent for people to forget. They're a mnemonic device, and sometimes they fit because they just fit and they are true in the line. And that's when they're the best, when they're inevitable, but they are somehow unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like, for me, it's such a big fan of rap and writing, and I have friends that are just like this who are also like rappers, and we like, especially when you go doing stuff like the Cypher for 10 years, when you're freestyling, you know, like hours for hours every week for 10 years, you start to have to get creative with the stuff you can rhyme, because you've rhymed everything. There's like nothing left to rhyme. You've rhymed college with knowledge a billion times, but then you start to go, well, garbage kind of rhymes with college, and you have to kind of start doing slant rhymes, and it's kind of like you're expanding your knowledge of what rhymes with what. Like Eminem has that interview with Anderson Cooper, the orange thing. Yeah, but like that Eminem kind of is like one of the guys that really kind of popularized like he just rhymed like in his like one of his most recent verses on like the DJ Khaled album, he rhymes you can bank on that promise like the Chamber of Commerce, but like when he rhymes it in the song, it rhymes perfectly, but it's all slant rhymes. It's how you say dialect, it. Yeah. So it's a whole nother. You're now taking something that like it's not just, you can't look this up on a rhyming dictionary. You have to create it, and you have to say it the certain right way, and it rhymes somehow. And that to me is like a whole new level of like, this writing is just insane. Like it's not just writing, it's delivery. It's like the coolest thing to me. And I don't know, I look at battle rappers and I look at rappers like Eminem or like the very lyrical, you know, Benny the Butcher type of guys as being like, you know, again, I haven't read, I mean, I'm sure you've read countless amazing authors that are very, you know, like well praised for their writing, which ironically was a very horribly worded sentence. But I look at rappers like that can write like that as like some of the best writers, period, because like there's so many aspects involved in like the rhyming and the delivery. It's such a hard thing to do, and I don't know. I think that's just a really cool.
What's the difference between a pigeon and a dove? Nothing. They're the same. Just one is exalted, one is seen as being beautiful, and the other lives in the street.
Wow.
In the same way, we look at poetry and rap.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One is the pigeon, one is the dove.
Wow, that's a great analogy.
No one cares about the dove.
Mm-hmm.
People love pigeons.
Yeah. But ironically, people flock to the dove a lot more than pigeons, and people look at pigeons as being, or doves kind of as being pretentious.
Yeah, but no one wants to pet a dove. Everyone wants to let the dove free. I'd like to pet a pigeon. I'd like to have a beer with a pigeon.
Yeah. Yeah, because if I was a poet, this whole podcast interview would go very differently. It'd be much more pretentious, and I'd be asking for tea, and I would.
Well, you'd be surprised. Poets aren't exactly like that. They're poorer than you and I.
Really?
Most of them.
Jack was a poet.
That does not surprise me one bit. Yeah. No, I mean, poetry is a very, it's something I strangely like don't have like a draw. I don't seek out poetry. Because I view kind of rap as kind of the same.
You're kind of living it.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
So it'd be kind of redundant, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
You'd be kind of reading about, oh shit, I already knew this.
Yeah, kind of. But no, it's definitely it's a really cool skill. Yeah. Yeah.
So, in the sense that you are the pigeon and the streets are your home, where are you going to perform next?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Honestly, I've been asked by URL, the league that I'm on, about some different opponents they want me to take. But now I'm kind of at a point where I feel like I can turn down certain things that I don't get excited about because.
So you're like a boxer in his mid years.
Kind of, I'd say it like that. Yeah. I think that for me, when it comes to preparing for a battle, it's my entire life when that happens. And so I'll typically take like a month and a half to 2 months. That's like what I'll need to prepare adequately. And that's just a couple hours a day just obsessing over this one person that I have to write about. And it's just something that like I'm a very obsessive person when it comes to like what I'm passionate about. And so it just takes so much energy out of me. And so I'll be doing also promo videos. So I'll be coming up with sketch ideas and filming things and editing things, all just to promote the battle. So there's so much work that I put into the performance that I have to now. It's not like we're getting paid enough to pay rent for 6 months. It's not worth the dollars per hour you have to put into it. or at least that I do. And so I need to be really excited about my opponent and be able to have stuff that I think I'd be able to work with. Because there's nothing worse than thinking about your opponent in every aspect of their life and realizing you've only written 1.5 rounds and you have to write 3 rounds. And you have to think of what other angle can I take on this guy? There's nothing to this person. I have to come up with some random out-of-the-box angle. That's rough to do. So I really like to find an opponent that I'm excited about, that I can write for. And so right now I'm kind of figuring that out and just trying to figure out the best people that I can take and that want to take me.
Okay.
Do you have any opponents in particular you'd like to go up against?
Yeah, I mean, I've been calling out this guy named Mike P, who is like another white guy at URL for a while. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do. Yeah, that's what everyone is like. Why don't white crime? I'm like, so that's all when 2 white battlers battle each other. All it is like
fantastic.
It's just like you're a racist. No, you're a racist. Well, I might be a little bit have some biases, but you have much more bias. It's always just like trying to prove who like the worst person is, and it's always kind of like all right, yeah, I think that'd be kind of an interesting one. But yeah, it's just kind of thinking of just different people that'd be excited. I want to battle a girl. I think that'd be a lot of fun too. Mainly because I just have like a lot of sexist jokes that I think would be really fun to figure out how to fit into like a lyrical format, and again you have to find the balance. You can't just be like rhyming hate speech, but it has to be like, I think that'd be a fun challenge to do. Is like to battle a girl in a way that wouldn't make people hate me.
What about an African American woman? Would that be a unique challenge?
Good luck finding a white female battle rapper. They don't exist. So yeah, it'd probably be
It'd be cool to find a white female rapper that was named Schrodinger because of that statement alone.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I could put her. She should be dead in a box after the battle. So
that would be great. That'd be a great line.
That definitely works.
So much missed. So much missed here.
Yeah.
So you're saying they don't exist at all? You've never seen one?
A couple of them exist, but not to the point that they'd be.
They'll find something else to do with their time.
They're not good.
They'll find okay.
Yeah,
all right.
they're not good.
It's not worth the time.
Yeah. So you have to find because also there are some really good female battle rappers who are very talented, but they suffer from the same problem that kind of white people do almost to the degree where it's kind of hard to take them super serious. When it's like I'll beat you up, it's like well okay. It's so like they kind of have that obstacle. Yeah, they kind of have that obstacle. But there are definitely female battlers that are able to find ways around that and be very, very entertaining and impressively, lyrical and stuff.
Okay. Do you have any particular venues that you enjoy?
With URL, it's kind of a national thing, so it's not it's not like a local league. It's a national thing. So I've battled earlier this year in LA, and that was fun to like get flown to LA and perform. But yeah, I mean, kind of anywhere. I would love to battle here because it'd be fun to just be back at home and battling
nice
here.
To see you.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun, man. And I think URL has done a lot of events here, so I'm hoping to kind of get on one of those if I can get the kind of timing to work out right. But yeah, I don't know, man. Anywhere, I'm ready to definitely to rap again and kind of get that writing process going. Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
Anybody you'd like to shout out?
No. Nobody. just me. Yeah.
Just you out there.
Yeah, just me, man.
Just
Just
you
me.
out there.
Hell yeah. On it? Well, okay. The only other thing really is if you want to take a Polaroid, we usually take one.
Sure,
with you
man.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that should not be optional at this point. You're taking a Polaroid.
All right, that's totally fine.
Jack will take it because he's too ugly to be on the. We don't want him.
All right.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you stopping by.
Dude, I appreciate you. So how'd y'all find me?